Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Just That I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV. Last episode, we were working on helping the Resistance out, and the Resistance has been basically massacred by the Guardians. And today we will move on to see what we can do next. So we got many of my men, and I cannot thank you enough for that. But the fact remains, our forces were decimated. In this state, we'll not be mounting an assault on Castle Valadina or anywhere else. We need to be honest with ourselves about our prospects, but first, we need to put our affairs here in order. Afterwards, I'll join you all at Castle Morgans. Understood. We will go and speak with General Aldin. Pippin has already departed with the wounded, has he? Good. We have completed our search of the reach and the surrounding area. As far as we can tell, Xenos and his men returned straightways to Spicula Imperatoris after quitting this place. Would seem he's lost interest in us. Which brings us to the most troubling question of all. Not how he found us, but why you chose to spare our lives having done so. In war, you kill or capture your enemy. You don't leave him to fight another day. Only a fool would turn his back and walk away. But Xenos is no fool. Whatever his motive, this is neither the time nor the place to think on it. I will leave a token force to watch over the reach. And the rest will fall back to Castle Morgans. We can discuss our path forward there. Kral said you stole her. She hasn't woken up, but Kral says she's to the worst. Given the severity of her wound, we could have hoped for no more. Let us pray she makes a full recovery. We lost a lot of good people, didn't we? I saw it happen when that Skulls commander cut down Mifrid. A single blow, and that was it. Everything he fought for, all his hopes and dreams for the future, were gone in an instant. And do you want to know what the worst? Do you want to know the worst part? It wasn't a Guardian who did it. It was an Alamegan. Gods help me if I ever... No, not now. Not while the general's waiting. Oh, Lise. Or is it just gonna go right into the cutscene? Yes, nice of you.
Were it not for the swift actions of the Scions and the Alliance, many more would have died. You risked your lives to save ours, and for that we thank you.
There is no need for thanks. We are allies, are we not?
Aye, just so. Let us not dwell on this tragedy, but look to the future.
The future? I'm sorry, General, but there is no future for us. We've lost too many. Gods, I can still see Mefrid with that woman standing over him. They've ripped the heart out of us, General. They've broken us. Our fight is over.
Master Kemp, please.
I'll always hate them with every fiber of my being. For what they took from us then and now. Our homeland, our freedom, our bloody children.
You mean the Skulls? The youths who fight for Xenos?
Grania Lupi, the Black Wolf's legacy and our shame. A unit made up of children born to Alamegan dignitaries who came of age during the occupation. Sons and daughters of Gir Abania, raised to be proud citizens of the Empire, with all the rights and responsibilities that entails. It'd be easy to curse them and call them traitors. But they're our children. Our flesh and blood. If the only way to forge the future we want is to cut down our own, then...
Then what was it all for?
Nargo.
What will you say to the families of the fallen? To the mothers, and the widows, and the orphans? Will you tell them it was all for nothing?
Listen to the girl. We dare not suffer our comrades' sacrifices to have been in vain. Now is the time to steel our resolve and press on, painful though it may be.
And when Xenos comes back with his army, what then? This isn't the first time, you know. You'll be hard-pressed to find men brave or stupid enough to face him again.
I still can't believe how strong he was. He humiliated us back there. The Warrior of Light included. God help us if he's next in line to the Garlean throne.
Loath though I am to say it, we should not be surprised. Before succeeding Van Baelsar in Alamigo, Xenos led the Imperial army to Doma, where he crushed the rebellion utterly. As a matter of fact, Doma remains in his charge to this day. Suffice it to say, Varys' heir is a peerless warrior and an accomplished general. The question is, how are we to contend with such a foe? Interesting. You are suggesting we kindle the flames of revolution in Doma once more and force Xenos to fight a war on two fronts?
For that, there would need to be someone left to fight on this front by the time you got back. Look, I'll not deny the plan as promised, and I feel for our brothers and sisters in Doma, truly I do. But I fear we lack the strength to see it through.
Have faith in your people, Master Kemp. Them and the Scions. Hold fast, rebuild, and when all is in place, we shall defeat Xenos together.
If you're going to Doma, I'm coming too. I want to help our friends there, and make sure nothing like this ever happens again.
Give us the time we need, and we will give you something far greater.
Very well. For all you have done for us, we will fight on. But be swift, comrades. Alamigo has suffered enough.
It goes without saying, but the Scions alone have not the strength to topple a provincial government, here or anywhere else. And I'm quite certain the same can be said of the Doman Liberation Front. Nevertheless, we can but go and assess the situation for ourselves and see what can be done. Lest you doubt what good we few can accomplish, I would remind you that my grandfather and his 12 disciples once journeyed to these lands to save Eorzea and her people from certain doom. Brave souls with an impossible task, and Eorzea lives on. Our present mission may not be as monumental in scope, but it is no less important to the multitudes whom we would free from the Imperial oppression, whom we will free. Where men go as one, there is life, and where there is life, there is cause to hope. Our grandfather believed that, and so do I. But before we can forge ties with our friends in Far East, we must first find a way to reach them. Although it's not exactly over the river and through the woods. I am one step ahead of you, my dear sister. Or rather, Tataru is. But before we discuss that, there is another issue I wish to address. Much as I would like it if we could all make this journey together, someone will need to remain to serve as liaisons. As liaison to the Alliance and the Resistance during this critical period. Moreover, as Y'shtola cannot be left unattended, then I should obviously remain. Very well, issue addressed. You know, Alf, it would have been quicker just to ask and markedly less patronizing. Yes, I suppose. Would you be willing to look after Y'shtola and provide support to Ironvald and the others? Yes, Alf, I would. You see, that wasn't so hard, was it? Enjoy your trip and don't you dare return with a gift. Oh, I would not dream of it. Right then, sister, Lynn, Lise, gather your things. We are for Lim's Alaminza. Did you just say, don't you dare return with a gift? That's weird. Enjoy your trip and don't you dare return with a gift. Is this a... yes, let's go into this one. Ah, Linda there of the Maelstrom, a moment if you would. The Alliance has seen fit to charge the Twin Adder with overseeing the occupation of Castrum Oriens for the interim. As an adventurer, I realize it is your wont to attend to matters both great and small in all corners of Eorzea. Though it should go without saying that you must also uphold your obligations to the Maelstrom and the Eorzean Alliance. Thus, I would ask for your aid in a reconnaissance mission here in the fringes. Pray speak with Lieutenant Molko when you are ready to receive a briefing. She'll be overseeing the operation. Do my eyes deceive me? It can't be, but it is. Linda there, the Griffin's Bane herself. Yes, the great hero who defeated the Griffin atop Baelsar's wall, bringing his plans of conquest to a shuddering halt. I can think of no other title that so aptly befits your prowess. A pity no one else seems to think so. But enough of that. What brings the illustrious Griffin's Bane here to Castrum Oriens? Sergeant Marshal Brookstone has requested you assist in my investigation. This is such an honor. I'll do my best not to disappoint you. Ah, goodness me, where are my manners? Atala Molko, military records officer, at your service. I cannot offer you much in the way of combat, but if you should have any inquiries regarding historical matters, you need only ask. Madam, let me apprise you of our current situation. Shortly after taking control of Castrum Oriens, we discovered a number of confidential documents left behind by the Guardians. Prisoner records dating back to the beginning of Alamigo's occupation. As you might have guessed, a great many were conscripted and sent away to subjugate new territories. A surprisingly large number were executed, as a reminder of what would happen should any step out of line. What we weren't expecting, however, was a number of prisoners listed simply as whereabouts unknown. We thought perhaps they met some ill fortune during their imprisonment or even escaped, but we could find no other documents to suggest what became of them. Be they living or deceased, it is now our duty to find them. Not just for our own records, mind you, but their loved ones as well. They deserve the peace of mind of knowing what happened here. Would that this were a recent incident, though. It will be no easy task ascertaining their whereabouts after 20 years. But I believe I know where we might begin our investigation. Okay, there's a cat currently claiming her spot. Sure! Just bump into my microphone. The Ananta have called these lands home long before even the Alamegans came to settle here. And as luck would have it, the resistance has established cordial relations with their people. Perhaps they remember something of what happened all those years ago. Alamegan prisoners captured 20 years ago. Yes, I remember, when the Guardians gained their foothold here, they interned any and everyone. Striders, Ananta, it mattered not. Most were forced to serve in the Guardian Empire, a military, dispatched to other lands from which they would never return. If I am not mistaken, the prisoners who remained were taken to a small village to the south. I cannot say what transpired there, but the settlement was heavily guarded. I fear the worst for them. Settlement to the south? Why, that would have to be Bittermill. I recall records of its residents seeking asylum in Gridania when the Guardians first arrived. This place was all but razed to the ground. Let's begin our search there. Perhaps something of value still remains in the rubble. Right. And thus we go to the south. Lies, stab, lies, and pirates. It's a nice quest name. I was about to say go away. What are Guardians doing here? You cannot be allowed to leave. Get them. Hmm. Oh, you fucking assholes. Ah! Goodness, that's smart. Perhaps I should have devoted more time to combat training. The no amount of training would make me a match for renowned Griffin's Bane. That was a magnificent display. Guardian soldiers were certainly the last thing I expected to find in these abandoned and otherwise forgotten buildings. I managed to catch them unawares, but I'm quite certain this investigation would have ended poorly had you not arrived. Still, I find this quite curious. By all rights, the Guardians should be too busy contending with the resistance to waste time in a place like this. What are they doing here? I'm afraid our search for answers has only raised more questions. If you are to make any sense of this, whatever, you must search this place from top to bottom, after my heart returns to my chest. Let's get ourselves another ether current. Which is always nice. And then there's more of this, but that is for the future. Let me go to the peaks for a moment, see if there's anything in Alagana before we move on to the next story beat. Yes, there is. Yes, there dang diggly is. As yourself as our village savior, do you? If you truly mean what you say, I have a mind to introduce you to someone. His name's Sayer. Used to be one of the Core's finest workers, he did. He's fighting the good fight to restore Argana to his former glory, but I do worry about the toll it must be taken on a man of his years. Have a chat with him if you're interested in helping. Thank you for coming. I'm still waiting for a few more of the villagers to arrive. The old bugger's tweeting us through another one of his speeches, I see. How long do you plan to continue living in abject squalor, I ask you? It's high time we brought back the quarry that once made me proud to hail from Alagana. Some of you may be too young to remember, but the quarry used to mean everything to this village. Bloody else, when is this old codger gonna stop harping on about the good old days? Time you opened your eyes, you daft bugger. Time's long past since we could sell the stones here for a decent amount of gil. It's about time you face the facts. There's no coin to be had sweating away your life in some bloody quarry. I'd be better served to going out and hunting my own food. Just hear me out. If you give up on the quarry, then you'll be giving up on the village itself. Even the hardest of rocks will break if you keep chiseling away at it. Life's the same. Grandfather, that's enough. No idea who he's talking. No. I can tell you now that no one here would claim to be happy with their lots, but there's nothing that can be done. You remonstrating with everyone is hardly going to do any good. Sweet Love. Sweet Love? That's a freaking name. Well, what do you bloody expect with that attitude? No one's going to work to improve things, when even my own granddaughter has next to no motivation. There's a reason you don't see much of quarrying going on anymore. There's no demand for it. We can get by just fine with the stones we gathered in the past, and those we salvaged from ruined buildings. Prosperity doesn't lie in wait for us at the quarry, only monsters. So by the time you realize that, we're lucky to just be alive these days. Come on, grandfather, let's go home. That girl understands nothing. Of course everything is going to seem pointless if you're only sleepwalking through life. And who the hells are you anyway? I ain't doing this for your amusement. I am indeed the Sayer you speak of. Ragnfrid sent you my way, you say? When was it? So, you're the last we have to thank for saving Werkrada. I can tell you have more fire in your belly than this entire village. Perhaps you'll be able to see that I'm not as crazy as these buggers think me. Aragana owes everything to the quarry. The stones we extracted were solid and pleasing to the eye to boot. Even supplied the stone used to build a palace. Those were the days. It was the Imperial invasion that changed everything. Those bastards thought stone structures barbaric, favoring their cold tasteless metallic buildings instead. So they look civilized. Don't make me laugh. The final blow to our way of life came when Garlemald began recruiting our youth from for their own army. We lost just as many to the rebel cause. With no one left to tend to the quarry, it slowly fell into ruin and now is overrun with beasts. The few of us that remain have been left to eke out a living using any means we can. I swear on Rolger's very name, if we could just take back the sleeping stones, this whole village would brim with vitality again. I just need something that proves the beasts are gone from the quarry. Then the villagers would surely see fit to help me restore it to its former glory. I know this is a lot to ask of a complete stranger, but it's not as if I'm spoiled for choice right now. Would you be able to rid the quarry of those damn monsters and bring me back to Irolith's soul stones? I'll be forever in your debt. How far away is this? Oof. Well. Looks like we're in for a walk. Need to get all the way up there though, which means I have to go and run around a little bit. This may be one of the few situations where I would ask for future me to speed it up, but something tells me that I will forget. Unfortunately. Oh well. We will see if I remember or not. This will either be sped up, or it will just be the normal speed, and you can enjoy the aesthetics, because I do really like running, like just walking around in these areas can be really nice. I leveled up. As we learned Jolt 2. So Jolt's been upgraded to Jolt 2. That's nice. Wait a second, though. Isn't there an ether current over here? Okay, now. I remember there being some stuff around here. Aha. Right, I got me rocks. Nice to see you returned. It'd be even nicer if you happened to be in possession of certain stones. Here you go. Yes, this is exactly what I was after. I spent no time in showing them to the others. It's been far too long since the last ray of hope shone into the villagers' miserable lives. Right. And then we get the thing, and that is all I need from this place. So, adios! Can I please... No, stop! Let me travel. Actually, I can just use the return. Look at me saving my money. Yeah, boy. Right. Samurai time, since my samurai's now an entire level behind. Which I think I should be able to catch up by doing my MSQ. Shouldn't be too difficult. Why are you so far away? The tower should be here any moment with our ship's captain. So we're going by sea after all. Is Merlwyp lending us our pick of the Crimson Fleet? Not exactly. You are right in as much as we will be traveling by sea. Regrettably, it is simply not feasible for an airship to travel such a distance without impossibly large fuel reserves, to say nothing of the inevitability of running afoul of the Empire's aerial defenses. But then it is equally infeasible to sail a Neorsian Alliance vessel halfway around the world without the Empire taking notice. Which leaves us with only one other option. Speak of the devil. So to keep you waiting, may I present to you Captain Carvalane of the Kraken's Arms. The Kraken's Arms. Don't tell me you made a deal with pirates. Greetings and salutations, Scions. I take it from your comrade's tone that you no longer wish to proceed with our proposed arrangement. Not at all, Captain. Pray forgive my sister her outburst. She has ever been one to speak her mind. I, on the other hand, am the very soul of discretion, as many well-respected personages would attest, from the offices of the Admiral to the high houses of Ishgard. But where was I? Oh, yes. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn do indeed still wish to employ your services. However, it is important that you are aware of certain extenuating circumstances. And intent on securing passage to the Far East, you came to us, knowing us to be the proud purveyors of said region's finest spices, which you steal from God-fearing merchants out on the high seas. Whatever privateering the Kraken's Arms may or may not engage in is strictly within the limits of the law, as set forth by our indefatigable keeper of the peace. More to the point, we are pragmatists. I see considerable risk in aiding your cause and negligible profit. Well, I, for one, think the captain has a point. The Five Seas can be extremely treacherous, and many a poor unfortunate soul has come to grief out there on the waves. Why, when we were in Ishgard, I heard the tragic tale of how the heir of House Durandare vanished at sea. Even now, nearly 20 years later, the poor count remains convinced that his son still lives, and will pay a sultan's ransom for news of his whereabouts. Laughter. Truly a tragedy for the ages, and a testament to the misfortunes that may befall us should we act without due consideration. But so long as you are prepared to abide the capricious whims of fate, I am willing to oblige you this once. That said, in light of the recent rebellion, I trust you understand that I cannot deliver you to Doma itself. I can take you only as far as Kugane in Hingashi. It will require time to procure sufficient provisions and make ready for departure. I humbly suggest you do the same. I like how they try to make this guy intense, even though he's just not that intense. He's just a goofball, really. I mean, he's still a pirate captain, but... Suddenly, all those hours Tataru passed cavorting and capering at the Forgotten Night seem rather better spent, do they not? That said, I intended to press the point more obliquely, and there was something disconcerting about the pleasure Tataru took in making Captain Carvalane squirm. I say we should heed the captain's advice and attend to our own preparations while I ready the vessel for departure. Tataru and I will provide the necessary supplies. As I say, I should be grateful if you would use the time to brief Urianger on recent developments. You may also wish to review the relevant safety procedure in the event of an emergency at sea. How very prudent of you. Very well. I shall go and speak with him. What of Lynn and Lise? I would like the two of you to return to Revenant's Toll and speak with our Doman allies. I fear we know too little of their homeland, and any information they can provide would be most welcome. When we have completed our respective tasks, we will reconvene here at the ferry docks. Agreed? Sounds like a plan. Let's go then. Quest to extract your I only just realized something. Oh, okay. Well, here we are. We'll need to talk to lots of people, so I think we should split up. I'll ask around at the House of Splendors. You take the Rising Stones. I'll meet you here after. Got it? Right. Into the Rising Stones. You are truly planning to travel to Doma? I do not know what to say. Forgive me, I shall aid you at the best of my ability. Ours is a beautiful land nestled on the eastern coast of Altharts, along the banks of the One River. Our nation thrived, proud and free, until the Guardians came, 25 years ago. The river was our lifeblood, free to travel and to fish, but travel was soon restricted, and now the river belongs to none. Greetings, then. What brings you to the toll this eve? What's your for Doma? Heavens! Your signs have shown us naught but kindness, but never my wildest dream did I imagine you would fight for our homeland. For 25 years we suffered under their tyranny, and then we spied an opportunity. The Emperor dead, Garlemald in chaos. It seemed the time was ripe. When he followed its banner, we gathered and fought to reclaim our nation. But when Xenos arrived with the 12th Legion, it was over in an instant. What is it, my friend? You look as though you have something to ask. That you go to join Yugiri and Gosetsu in the fight fills me with such joy. Forgive my exuberance. You require information, yes? We of the Nagaya clan have served Doma faithfully for generations. My ancestors held positions within Doma Castle even. Now it is home to the Imperial Viceroy's witch and her host of men and magitech. To think that that was once yes, the shining symbol of our heritage, and the seat of dear Lord Kayan has become a den for guardian dogs. There you are. Learn anything interesting? The older Domans I spoke with tried to teach me all about the Eastern customs and the importance of formality and politeness. I'd like to think yours can be just as stiff and stuffy as anyone, especially as guardians. But anyway, did you know they eat with sticks? It wasn't all that hard actually, or at least that's what I thought until they told me I was holding them wrong. And then when I spoke with the younger Domans, they just rolled their eyes and told me it was all a load of stupid old. Wow, what you learned sounds a lot more useful, unless someone invites us for dinner, of course. I hope they do. Still 255. Right, no point waiting around here, is there? We should head back to Limsa. Afino set to meet at the ferry docks, I think. Right. Whoopsie. You returned, Lynn. I trust you learned much from our Doman friends and Reverend Stoll. I'm eager to hear all, though I can wait until we have left port. We will have time enough to talk on our journey to Kagane. Our spice trading friends have completed their preparations. Assuming you have completed yours, you may inform the deckhand that we are ready to depart. All set, lass. I'll see you to the ship if so. On to the misery.
"12 be praised. Full sure was I that I had come too late.
Urianger! Tell me you haven't come all this way just to see us off.
Nay, my lady. Ere you quit these shores for eastern climes, I wished to share some words of seeming import. Look ye where the sun doth rise. See crimson embers darkening skies. Look ye where the sun doth fall. See azure lost amidst the squall.
Well, that sounds suitably foreboding. Another one of your prophecies, I presume?
Of far eastern origin, aye. It is mine earnest hope that this ancient wisdom may serve to guide you on your journey. For what dangers lie in wait for you upon those distant shores are yet beyond my knowing.
Oh, a parting gift befitting your roundabout ways. Thank you.
I have more than words for you, my lady.
It's beautiful. Is it for me?
Though undeniably powerful, your ethereal blade taxeth you greatly in the wielding. Not so this rapier, which shall serve you just as well against all but the most formidable foe.
Impressive. It feels as though it's attuned to my ether. I shall treasure it.
Honored guests, say your farewells, for the moment of our parting draws nigh. A fair wind blows, and I mean to follow it.
Is this Xenos? I only just noticed that this voice actor is the same as Xenos, I
It
think.
would seem our ship is set to
That's
sail.
funny.
Pray give my regards to Thancred and the others. And take care.
A fine day, is it not? Fair winds and following seas. The Misery is enjoying herself. Nevertheless, it would not do for you to spend the entirety of our voyage above deck. Let me show you to your quarters.
Is it supposed to do that?
Not under normal circumstances.
Captain! You're needed on deck! Something queer's afoot. The winds died down, the waters went still, and all of a sudden, we were dragged off course.
Dragged? By what?
Can't rightly say, sir. But some of the lads are muttering about seeing things in the water. Things that shouldn't be there.
Oh, for the love of... If you will excuse me a moment. Actually, might I persuade you to join me? Loath though I am to admit it, I have a bad feeling about this.
Odd. Most odd. Well, do you have any idea what's going on? No, as the man said, despite the absence of wind and currents, the misery is somehow being pulled off course. Well, why not fire up the cerulean engines you have hidden below? An excellent suggestion based on knowledge you should not have. Alas, our engines appear to be malfunctioning for reasons that escape my engineers at present. I'm telling you, Captain, it's them things the lad saw. Things? I don't suppose I could convince you to attempt something more descriptive? An adjective, for example? Seawolf superstition and fairy tales, not more. But if you must know, the things which he is so reticent to name are the souls of deceased women set to lure sailors to their deaths. Preposterous. Yes, indeed. It is neither the sea nor the weather which is responsible, and it is probably a predatory entity of some sort. Perhaps a siren or some such. For all we know, it could be a fellow spice trader employing magics to seize and plunder passing vessels. Regardless, we have but one recourse, to let the current take us to where it will, and deal with whatever we find there. What a thoroughly pragmatic suggestion. Oh, I'm beginning to like you, girl. Once we arrive at our destination, the crew shall remain with the ship to defend it, while we venture forth to deal with the cause of our troubles. Then it's settled. I know not what awaits us, but it will rue the day it reeled us in. The Siren Song Sea is now accessible. And we will do that in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode of us playing Final Fantasy XIV. And next episode we're going to go and do the Siren Song Sea dungeon. I could in theory continue it right now, but the dungeon is going to take me like 15 minutes probably, if not more. And then there's still more stories, so I'd rather do that in the next episode. Goodbye.